Okay, these are E&O Mary LaBelle superior quality banjo strings, nylon strings, 5-string number 17s. I've got what I believe is about a 5/8 inch Grover bridge here. I don't know what size the bridge will need to be exactly. It's one of those things where you never really know until you put some strings on it. I hope this neck lines up well. You know, there might be a problem with that. Sometimes these old necks, that could be a problem. Sometimes these old necks don't have a good angle, and this might be one of them, which would involve, if I was going to fix the angle, I'd have to re-drill the hole in the back of this thing, and that might be a problem. I might have to talk to the owner about that before I do anything that drastic. But let's go ahead and see if we can get some strings on it anyway. I don't know what it is about these old banjos, but I've seen a lot of them that the necks really don't line up as good as they should in order to get the string height be right on the pot. And I don't know if it's just because people back in the old days used to play them with a really tall string height or what it was. These nylon strings aren't looped on the end, so you have to tie a little loop in the back end of them, which is doable. Probably a little easier for somebody with younger fingers and better eyes than what I got, but I can generally make it work. Try to anyway. Not as nimble about these sort of things as I was in my younger days. It's funny because in a lot of ways I'm stronger than I used to be. I was doing some duct work for over at my daughter-in-law's house today, and it involved shaping and cutting pieces of wire and hanging ductwork up overhead. And while I was doing that, I was using a little pair of pliers, and I was kind of watching what I was doing. I was thinking, you know, I used to watch my dad do stuff like that, and I used to kind of marvel at how strong his hands must be to be able to do that sort of thing. Because sometimes when you're young, you got a lot of energy in a lot of ways, but you know, like an old person, they're just kind of rugged. You know, they can just take something with their fingers and bend it around. It doesn't hurt their fingers, and they're strong. They're really strong in their hands. And I find myself being that way in my old age, kind of remembering back how I used to be amazed at some of the stuff my dad did. And now I'm doing some of that same kind of stuff and thinking, well, that's kind of pretty cool, you know. Nice that you do get a few benefits from being old. I think that you're not as sensitive when you're old. I think you're a little rougher and a little tougher. There's probably some things you can do that, you know, young people wouldn't do because it would hurt too much. Old people don't. I think when you get old, you don't feel pain as much. It might just be just what I think, but it seems that way to me. I don't feel much pain anymore. You know, like when I was young, a lot of things used to bother me that I don't even give a thought to anymore. Might be workable. Not gonna be able to get much of a bridge on that, I can tell. Need a really short bridge, I believe. But might be playable with a short bridge. Let's see what I can find. Well, I'll go ahead and put the first string. If I put the first string and the fifth string on there, that gives me 2 points to kind of look at the bridge line and see what I think from there. By the way, somebody asked me a while back if they could use fishing line for this, and I said, yeah, you can use fishing line for it. A lot cheaper. If you get the size right, you know, you figure out the gauge of the string, and you get the same gauge fishing line. There's not a reason in the world why it wouldn't work. I'm putting nylon strings on this one because it's a 100-year-old banjo with a single piece of wood for a neck. There's lots more opportunities for a neck like this to work than there is on either any kind of reinforced neck. This is not reinforced. It's done a pretty good job to hold together as well as it has for as long as it has, and I don't want to increase the likelihood that there's going to be any kind of problem with it. Alright, let me find a bridge for this baby.